excited today because I get to have my girl, Miss Erin, on. Now, y'all probably know her as Erin Pride from the Dance Boss podcast, but we're going to dish today because she got married and she changed her name, y'all, which for some of us might seem scary to do inside of our career. But I'm so excited to chat with her about her journey of launching Dance Boss podcast to creating her own coaching program, to getting married, to doing all the things and really just starting to create her own unique vision of success and what her dream life looks like. And I cannot wait to dive in with her. Now, if you're joining us live, say, hey, Erin's, because there's two of us today. What's up? Let us know in the comments. We always want to know who is here with us live, or even if you come back in on the replay, which I know so many of you do, let us know that as well. Drop a hashtag replay. Let us know where you're coming from so we can chat about it, because you guys, we're bi-coastal today. I'm here in California and Erin is in Jersey, y'all. And so we have people coming in from all around the world. So if you are joining us, let us know. Give us some love. We want to chat with you. We want to answer your questions. And like I said, even if it's on the replay, we'll come back and we'll have that convo with you. So I think I have to say that Erin is just a ball full of energy, and I just love her energy. And I think we connected pretty instantly. And so we've had so many great times. She has been such a great friend. She's come on to Studio Shift and she's been a guest speaker there for me. And I've, worked with her in many different realms. And so I'm so excited just to have her on today and for us to just talk about life and being humans and kind of what our journeys have looked like and how we all relate to this process we call life and this journey that we call life. And so I want to go ahead and let me do my magic over here, y'all. Now, I want to tell you, if you're coming in and you want some of these goodies, just drop in the comments, show notes, and my team will get with you guys and get you all the goodies that we are going to share and those nuggets that we are going to share today. So I'm going to bring in Miss Erin. Hello. Oh my goodness. I am so excited to have you here. Yeah. Oh, so y'all, first of all, Erin, she's the one, she'll tell you she's a Jersey girl all the way.
Yeah, I am.
You are through and through. Like everything about it. Oh my gosh. So I wanted just to kind of walk with everybody on this journey because I sit back as an outsider and I'm like, oh, I just love seeing where she's going. And I know that it doesn't always come easily. Like each step took major courage.
Yeah, but first I want to say, Erin, I am so fond of you. I always tell the story, and it just speaks to your character. Erin reached out to me back in the day. This had to be maybe 2 or 3 years ago. She's like, I'm just interested in love what I see you doing. And you believe in connection. You're like, is there any way I can support you? Like, you didn't ask for anything. You didn't do it with an intention to have anything. You were just genuinely making a connection. And I use that for a blueprint as how I communicate with people. And I am so I'm just like happy that I get people like you in my life who are such good people. So thank you for that.
Oh my goodness gracious. I think that I've been having this conversation a lot about us just being human and like getting back to connecting with people, because I think that it's number one, so needed. I think that there was a few years where with social media, especially, and like the way things happened, where there's this whole idea that we had to, everything had to be perfect. Like we had to show the perfect lives. We didn't show any of the messiness. And the truth is that like, we're human. It's not all roses and petunias.
And
there are messy parts.
Yeah, and I truly believe, like, and this took me age and life experience to get to this place, but like every single thing that I am given as a challenge in my life is obviously the blueprint and puzzle piece for the next step. But also I really feel this calling from God, higher power, Buddha, whatever you want to say, but it's my God, that I am put here to share a message with people. And I use my wounds and my challenges to show people that they're not alone. And I share that when I'm ready. It doesn't mean that I share everything right away. There has to be a level of healing that I understand that I'm going through, and I understand how to do it before I share. But I don't like perfect. It's boring. It's like come on. Like, and I see so many gurus living up to that expectation of being perfect, and I'm just turned off from them. And when I seek out people that are in my friends groups or in my network or just people in general that inspire me, I'm looking for people whose ego is not leading the way, because you can see right through it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm typing this in here because, oh my gosh, that is such a nugget right there. Like, because here's the truth. Like, our egos can be our downfall, right? And like, I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because you said it just turns you off when you see that. And I think that for so many of us now, especially after the last craziness of the 2 years that we have spent, that people are feeling like this need to just like be human and connect with people on like a deeper level, like step away from the crazy busyness, right, that we've thrown ourselves into trying to be perfect and have this perfect life, and really stepping back into just, yeah, connecting with people and like getting to know them at a deeper level and seeing all sides. Because yes, I don't think I need to share every little detail with everybody about, like, that's, for me personally, that's not it. But I do feel it's important to just show up and show up how you are and where you're at in that moment,
Oh,
right?
absolutely. And I would share so much more, but my husband is a very private person, and he lets me know his boundaries, and I try to respect that.
Yeah.
But it also, like, even in sharing, though, there's like an assessment that humans have to do. Like, what is my intention for sharing this? So if I'm sharing something, I'm like, is my intention really to help, or is my intention to get attention? Right? And that's the deep work you have to do. And having those conflicting ideas in your head and discovering, like, maybe you're saying something because you want attention is not a bad thing. It's human. Like, it's a part of our DNA. But what makes you a better human is the ability to pause, reflect, and start to really identify why you are sharing things.
Oh my goodness, yes. And you know, it's interesting that you say that. I had the conversation the other day with one of my clients about when we're sharing,
Mhm.
right? Sometimes it's hard for some of my clients, and I think us in especially if you're a private person in general, feeling like there has to be this total separation between business and your private life, which I have strong feelings about. But that being said, is that sometimes it feels like, but what do I share?
Mhm.
Right. And how do I share it in a way that lets people know, like, my core values and who I am as a person, and not just sharing for attention, but
Mhm.
sharing for what's the, like, she said, I don't want to seem like I just want attention about this thing. And I'm like, it doesn't have to be about the attention,
Mhm.
right? It could be, well, then what's the objective,
Mhm.
right? So if you want to share this thing and it's like, yay, I'm so proud. She didn't want to celebrate her own successes.
Yeah, that's hard for a lot of people.
It's hard for a lot of people, right? Because it was like, I don't want to do this whole look at me. And I said, but how can we turn this into inspiration for others,
Right. And
right?
it's funny, like, I'm going through that in my own personal life. Like, I'm in a coaching group with just a phenomenal coach, and it's like life changing. And I am even going through this because of being an interracial couple, picking where we're going to live, being able to live in a prestigious place, the ability to do certain things, and being nervous to share that, being nervous to speak out on that because you don't want people to judge you for that. But then what I do for myself, and what the program I'm in helped me realize, is like, it's not, it's your intention, right? I really feel like I'm put on this earth to be a thought leader, to help encourage people. So with that calling that's placed on me comes a bigger responsibility. And that kind of helps guide me and make me not think that I'm doing it from a place of showing off.
Yes, I love that. You know, and I agree. I think that celebrating our wins and really standing in that, there are so many people that, no matter if you're in business, or if you're, doesn't matter what you do, they're going to follow your life, right? They're going to follow things, whether you're sharing recipes or it doesn't matter what it is, right? But people are genuinely interested in others because we're human, right? And I think that sometimes we forget that by sharing those experiences, by celebrating our wins, by it really is inspiring for others. And I think for myself, and I'm sure that you probably have these thoughts too, but like, I agree with you. I feel like I'm kind of put on this earth to do more and to really inspire women in particular to really show up and live in their full potential, and to really have a voice, and to be inspired to do every single thing that their heart desires. And with that takes courage, right? And saying, I'm proud of myself for this, for XYZ. I had one of those memories, you have your memories that pop up for social media. And it reminded me that, my book launch was a year ago.
Wow.
And sharing with people that I wrote a book, it was kind of scary because for me, I even had that moment of like, I'm not a writer. Who am I?
Yeah.
Right? That whole like imposter syndrome. Who am I? And then I just had to stop and say, no, I have something that I need to share with this world. And I kept just leaning on my spirit that I needed to do this, but it was still scary. Celebrating the win.
And I think that when you are in touch with what you feel called to do, not in touch with what you feel like you have to do, that's different. What you feel called to do, it is scary. It is uncomfortable. And it's supposed to be that way because we're supposed to share the journey of it. And everybody experiences that journey in their own level if they're willing to be open to that, right? You have to be open to it. And you can get open to it in a lot of different ways. There's not one size fits all, but it's like when you're open to it, you're gonna experience so much fear. Like I have fear about everything. Like, am I good enough? Is this right? What am I doing? Does this look stupid? And then all of a sudden I got into I don't care. Like, because I'm divinely led.
Right.
And I check my intentions.
Probably know her as Erin Pride from the
Hi, Erin. No.
Hi, y'all. I'm like, oh my gosh. Well, that happened, but that's okay. We're perfectly imperfect. It just popped up. But anyway, yes, go ahead. I love it. I love it. I love it. Sorry.
No, that was it.
I think that you're right. I think that we have to just, sometimes the hard work is the inner work. It really is. Like doing that is harder for some of, really, I think that those are when the biggest shifts happen. And I'm so glad that you mentioned that you have found yourself, or you have invested in your own business in the way of looking for coaches and for mentors and for people who are going to really get you to that next step. Because I think that sometimes the fear that we have about investing, right? Is this going to work? Is this going to, is this going to help me get further faster? What if it does? I think it's more of what if it doesn't work and I lose all this money? Right.
And I don't think it's really about that. I think it's the person thinking really underneath. So that's their thought, right? But their belief in themselves is like, am I really going to do the work that it takes? Because it really doesn't come down to like, is it going to work? Like, it's going to work if you investigate the person that's right for you, if you feel like they're in alignment, if you follow them. But the real question you need to ask yourself, is it fear holding you back that you don't think you're going to do the work?
Yes. And it's interesting. So one of the things that I always share when it comes to making these big decisions, because I think that it is fear for most of us, fear. And when we just decide, right, when we just step off the ledge and make the decision and say, well, I'm just going to go for it. That's when big shifts happen and big things happen, because you've harnessed that. Okay, well, it's going to be scary, but I want to make it work. But one of the things that I go through with some of my clients, and maybe this will help someone out there, is that I go through an exercise. What's the worst thing that could happen? And I do, like, I let myself and my clients like go down the rabbit hole for like 3 minutes. Like, well, if you invest and it doesn't work,
then what?
What's the worst thing that could happen? Right. And like, I kind of sometimes, go ahead, like spiral, like, okay, it's not going to work and you lost this money. Now, are you going to be, homeless?
Mhm,
Right? And like when we like peel back the layers of the onion in this exercise, most of the time they find out, okay, that's ridiculous. Like my family's not going to let me be homeless. My kids
mhm.
are going to eat.
Right.
Right? Like but like it's fear, right? And so you guys, that's something, I mean, I don't know if that will help anybody out here, but like if you're facing this big decision and you don't know, like let yourself go down it. But then you need to stop and be objective and say like, okay, that's silly. Like, am
And
I
that's why
really?
a coach is needed. That's why therapists also can aid you. Like, it takes a village to unpack the crap that we are conditioned to think, right? They're all thoughts that are not necessarily real thoughts. It's just like our life and what we watch and what we hear. And it's not a bad thing, but what we really need to work on to reach our higher selves, I'll speak from me, is unprogramming all that stuff, getting down to all that stuff that and having somebody to support me to say, okay, if okay, then what? Okay, then what? Okay, what if you thought about it like this? Like a change in perspective is a miracle. And when you
Mm,
get those people in your corner, a coach, a therapist, a partner, like that can hear you, friends, a community, a network, you're that people that are going to push you to go further and push you towards your truth, then you're going to be opened up to perspectives. And that's a
mm.
miracle in your life, being able to change your old thought patterns and see opportunity in front of you.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, love it. Another nugget right there. Because it's true. It is. It's true. I think that for so many of us, it's the perspective. When you're in it, like, and you have tunnel vision, um, you can't see the forest for the trees, sometimes. And so, yes, having people, an outside perspective, whether it's a coach, whether it's a mentor, whether it's a therapist, depending on what's going on. No, y'all, I have to say this real quick. And I'm getting on my soapbox for all coaches out there. Your coaches are not your therapists.
Oh, girl, no, we do not have those degrees. No, like, no.
I'm like, let me
Thank you,
stand on the
Erin.
soapbox for
Thank
just
you.
one moment.
Yes, absolutely. Like, there's a difference. Like, your coach will probably open up a can of worms, but they're not there to necessarily help you navigate those can of worms. They're there to support you and help you see them. But like, you go to therapy to work through those deep seated issues.
Okay, thank you. Yes. Now, which brings me to another point that I want to talk about because of that, you said it takes a village. So tell me about what kind of support do you get? And it's funny because the first time I came on the Dance Boss podcast, you asked me what kind of like how do I juggle it all? Um, because I have multiple businesses. I'm a mama. I'm a wife. I'm a like all
Hmm.
the things.
Hmm.
All the things. And so I want to know, like, what have you done to get
Hmm.
support?
Well, the most I've been getting coaching. Like, as I've trusted myself, I've as I've begun to trust myself deeper, I've invested higher.
Mm,
Okay. So that's number one. I like my first investment, I think was like $500. Like, it was, and not saying that's not a lot of money because any amount of money is a lot of money, but
right.
I'm saying when you're speaking to it in the coaching realm, you can pay anywhere up to what, how much, 20,000, 30, whatever. So the more I began to trust myself is the more I began to invest in higher quality coaching. So
Mm,
I just recently made an investment and I'm very transparent. It wasn't on my own. It was a $15,000 investment for a coaching program that I have had my eye on. It's a Black woman. She's biracial, and it was so crucial for me without me knowing, but looking back, that I got coached from someone that looked like me,
mm.
that understood what I was going through, that understood certain things that other people couldn't. I am equal opportunity. My husband's white. It's not about that, right? That's not what I'm
No.
talking about. I'm talking about, like, so I'm going through something right now. I'm starting to make more money. I'm starting to position myself and be positioned in society in a different way. It just happens when you make more money, right? So there are certain things that come up as a Black woman in America that you are transitioning into when you're starting to build wealth. Well, I can't get that from everyone as support. So I have a community of my coach and other people of color that are in that position, that are in highly elevated situations because of the amount of money that they're generating. To be supported at that level is insane. To be supported at that level is insane. So I say that to say, like, I'm a big advocate of finding people that are where you want to get to, and finding people who are like you in those positions that can support you through the transition. Because when you make more money, more mindset issues come up. When you make more money, more this comes up. It's not like you make more money and all of a sudden you're flying high. Like, you start to question your beliefs and your place in society. So number one, I invested in that and I absolutely love it. And my husband helped me. Like, I'm gonna tell you. But listen to me.
Y'all are a team.
I only could go to my husband and say, listen, this is a priority, because I trusted myself. I knew that I was going to do the work, right? Like, and at first some questions came from myself. Well, is this crazy? Do I deserve this? No, I do deserve it, because I'm going to do the work, right? So that's the program I'm in. But I'm also come from the mindset of, like, listen, I will tell you right off the bat, I am not a Susie homemaker type of person. Like, that's not how I am. I do laundry and I fold it because I do, but like, and I cook sometimes, but like, I have a cleaning woman. We order meals sometimes. Like, I'm about paying people to help me live the life that I want, but it's also circular. They get to have money and build their own businesses and do their own things. Like, and this is me coming to you. Like, I grew up in an inner city. My parents were both educators. And we lived in like the nicer part of the city, but in growing up like that, like, we didn't have a cleaning woman. We didn't have our meals made. Like, my mom worked full time. She did everything. She juggled everything, did everything. So now I'm doing this, and I could get over the mindset, like, oh, are you bougie, Erin? Like, am I trying to be somebody different? So there's all of those things that I have to work out, not with a coach, with my therapist, to help me understand, like, I am deserving and it's okay to have all these things. So I'm an advocate. When I have kids, I will have a nanny. When I have kids, but I'm probably going to have a night nurse. Like, look, I'm not playing. Like, I want all of the help that I can get in order to live a life that feels good. Like, and I don't care what people think about that.
100%. I think that sometimes, and this is what came up for me when I first was looking to do that, was like, but I should be able to do it all. Like, that was my thought process. Like, why can't I do it all? Right. And the truth of the matter is, I can, I guess, but I don't want to.
Right.
I don't want to. And I would rather invest my time. If I had to pick between cleaning a toilet and sitting down and playing Legos with my kids, I'm going to sit down and play Legos with my kids and pay someone to clean a toilet.
Or like going, like, on my favorite day right now is Fridays. I go to Pilates with my sister, and then I go see my parents and we hang out. And it's like, if I didn't have the cleaning woman, my life would be a little different. I would probably have to, like, sacrifice. Like, I want more time, not only to run my business, just more time, more time, less stress in my life. And there's one other avenue of investing that I forgot to speak about. I invest highly in my self-care, number one. Like, I love it. Like, and this is a new journey for me. But the other part is I invest in a team. I have a podcast producer who is a former student, and it just is so magical to see her build her own business. I have an operations manager, and now I just recently hired, about 2 to 3 months ago, a personal assistant slash virtual assistant. And everybody is so easy to say, like, I want to scale, I want to do this, but yet they are afraid to let go of responsibility, and they're afraid to hire a team. But it is impossible to get to a revenue point without having the infrastructure to sustain it. And you cannot build that infrastructure alone. And then also, like, it is so beautiful to have a team of people that I can trust and I could collaborate with, and who make me think differently about things I want to do, like, because that's the kind of leader that I am. So investing in all of these areas is not about spending money. It's about, like, contributing to my well-being. Like, it's just making me a better human being.
Well, and it allows you to serve at a greater level, right? Because if we're stuck in trying to do all the things on our own, you get stuck in that place and stagnate. You cannot have space to be creative and to grow and to lead and to move into your next level, of success. And that, I feel like, is where a lot of women, especially business owners, get so stuck, is like, okay, well, but I don't, I can do this. I could do this. Okay, well, you could, but like,
Mm-hmm.
that is not your zone of genius.
Right. And I want to say this, like, if you're a woman who identifying person who's watching and you're married to a partner, and like my husband's Italian, like he is used to like the woman like cooking, cleaning, like that's how he grew up. So we had long talks and it wasn't always easy, but like he's willing to see things a different way. So if you're someone who's like, damn, I do want that, but having those conversations with my partner is difficult, I want you to know that I get it and I've been there. Um, and I know it's scary, but it's okay to have those conversations and not have them feel good for a while, because if you and your partner are somebody who really work on like your relationship, you're both going to get to a place where you find your common ground.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. So let's talk about this real quick because
Yes.
you got married. And so
Yes.
you went from Erin Pride and which you had built that name,
Yeah.
right? And you got married, you love your husband and your partner, and you decided that you were going to go ahead and change your name.
Yep. Yep.
And was that scary?
Oh yeah, I did a post about it. You could check it out on my personal Facebook page or my Instagram page. Like it was a really hard. First of all, I love my name, like my maiden name. I mean, come on, it's short. Everybody was like, "That's such a good name," and I was like, "Oh God, this name is made like for startup. Let's get it." But then, I talked to my husband about it, and he was like, "I would love if you change your name." And he knows how I am. Even if he says I would love that you change your name, if I didn't want to change my name, I wouldn't, because that's the kind of person I am. Um, but then I started to think, and I was like, what does this feel like for me? I said, if I have to balance two names, I know that I won't embody it. Like me. This is not about what you think people want you to do. Like if you're in this position, I'm talking about getting quiet with yourself. Like I said, I'm not gonna like having to be online in this space and be like Erin Pride and then go into my personal life and go be Erin Pompa. I said that's not gonna work for me. And I said, I really want to feel like we're a union. And for me, that meant changing my name.
Yeah.
And it was uncomfortable. I thought people were going, like, I started making up stories in my head. Like people weren't going to follow me or people weren't going to find me or all of these stuff, which isn't true. And then I just did it. I didn't change over. I'm not legally changed because we're going away. And then, the passport coming
Oh,
back and everything.
yeah.
I'm like waiting, but frontward facing, I am Erin Pompa. It's hard for me to change my Instagram handle. I am not going to lie about that. That's probably the last thing. And then like the back end stuff is a lot of work. Like I have to
It
pay.
sure is.
Yeah, I got to pay for the domain and the website. So all of those things are happening. But I'm completely happy in my decision. It was the right decision for me. And that's all that matters. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm 40 years old. I don't, and my friends always say this because I have older friends. They're like, girl, you're 40. Now you're going to like not care. And that is what's happening. Like,
So true.
what is right for me? So that is all it comes down to.
100%, yeah. And full transparency, I didn't become Erin Burd for it was like right under a year because of the like changing the passport and doing all the things. And we were traveling and all of that. And so I think it literally was like 11 months until it all got changed over.
I'm overwhelmed. I did hitch. It's funny. There's now. I don't know if when you got married, Erin, they had this like I did like hitch stitch, so they do it all for you. So I hopefully it'll get done soon.
I don't know if I mean, they probably did at the time. I just didn't know to look for it,
Yeah.
It has been quite some time, but, I have to say that doing whatever's right. And yes, when you hit that 40 mark, I'm 42. I'm 40 as well.
I know you don't want to be like 42. I say
I'm
that
not 42.
I'm like I'm not 42.
I'm not 42. I'm 40 as well. And you get to a point in life, and whether it's through age, I think is a little bit. I think for me personally, there was a big shift when I lost my father, suddenly to cancer. I think that there was a big shift in like, this life's short. We just have to do what makes us happy. At the end of the day, we have to do what makes us happy. And so, and in that time, living to our fullest potential. Whatever that looks like, And so I feel like for me, I'm on this journey of, I don't want to be stagnant. Like I don't, some things are always going to take us a little longer than we hope for. But as long as we're taking actions every day to move us towards that goal, then it's a success and we're living in our full potential.
And I love that. And it's like, I don't know, we're all like from the dance background here. We're
Right.
such advocates. Like, I know you come from early childhood movers, I come from
Yeah.
high school movers, but it's creativity. Like, we push our students to explore and
Mm-hmm.
try it. Like, we make it so complicated. Sometimes it's just like, am I giving myself a chance to explore without expectation?
Yes.
And it's like when we have to like adult and put everything, all of the elements of adulting into life, we put this bar on it, like it has to be this perfect, it has to go this way. But we're gonna be protected and we're gonna land on our feet as long as we're, as I believe, as long as I'm moving in integrity. Even if something doesn't work out, like it's going to work out. Like, it doesn't matter.
Right. Well, and a misstep or a quote unquote failure, right? It's all part of the journey. And my goodness, if I meet someone who says, "Oh, I've never had a single failure in my life," I'm like, "Well, what's happened in there?"
Yeah, like, okay, do I want that? I feel I mess up every day. Like, a great
Yeah.
example of this in my own business is like, with my clients, like I love my clients and I love my curriculum. And then I have some clients who ask a lot of questions or who question me on this. And like, it used to hurt my ego and make me think that I wasn't good enough. But now I look at it from a place of growth and exploring. Like, it's not about me. It's about, oh, how can I take this data and make what I'm doing better? It's not a personal attack. And I think that's what we think. Everything bad that happens or is uncomfortable is not a personal attack. There
No.
is an opportunity in there
Mm-hmm.
if we let go of our ego to grow.
Mm-hmm. Are these facts or feelings is my go-to.
Right.
Are these facts or feelings or the stories that we've told ourselves that aren't true, or and they and I don't want to say they're not true. There's just a lining of truth because of how we've grown up, or the relationships that we've been in, or right, like those all form a layer of story
Mm-hmm.
that we tell ourselves. And so I think that we just have to really take a step back and say, yeah, is this a factor or feeling?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, I love that. So I wanted to real quick let everybody know, yes, she still has her Erin Pride handle
Yeah.
on Instagram.
It costs everything. It costs money.
Oh,
Yeah,
it does.
Instagram, but like the web, blah 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 blah. It's
Oh,
like
all the
money.
things.
Yeah.
All the things. And you can check her out on erinpride.com as well.
Yeah.
And I'm sure there will be a transition period where you
Yep.
can go to either one and it'll all get you to the same
Exactly,
place.
Erin. That's the money. I'm talking to my web designer. I'm like, okay, can we get this redirected and create a landing page so that when la 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 la.
Right. Yes, all the things when you go there and you change your name. But it's exactly where you want it to be. And I absolutely I feel like we could just sit here and talk all day, which we probably could. But you guys, I want to say, do you have any words that you could share with someone who is sitting on a decision or a dream that they want to do, but they don't know where to start, how to get help? Like, how do you go through the process of making a decision to either find a mentor or find a coach or find support that could help somebody else? Because for a lot of people making these decisions, it's not an easy thing. There's a lot that goes into it. And I think if there's any, for me, my thing is go down, do the what's the worst thing that could happen exercise, and then go through there. Do you have anything that you could share?
Yeah, and this might be woo for someone. I went through a really dark time in my life that I don't speak about openly, and that's as much as I'll give you. But the reason I'm mentioning it is because this dark time in my life helped me redefine how I do everything in my life. And I had to do a lot of spiritual work and a lot of soul seeking to move past that dark time and live through that dark time. So for me, it's not a question of what do I want to do. For me, it's a question of What do I need to do to get spiritually connected so that I can have the answer divinely guided to me? It's not my answer. It's not my will. I meditate. I pray. I do the work that I need to do so that I am a vessel and I'm open to the kinds of answers. And the thing is, you won't get them always the way that you think. Sometimes that's that internal feeling that's telling you this is the right decision. Sometimes it's a conversation that you have with someone by accident that you didn't even expect it from. It's like you have to turn on yourself to those messages so that you can receive them, and then you'll get the answer. That's it. And I know that's woo. I know y'all like it's woo, but that's my true answer. Like I pray and I meditate all the time, and I can sit on something, and I could sit on something, and I just keep letting the information come to me so that I can see where I'm supposed to move next.
I love it. I love it. And, it's interesting because it is, some might say it's woo, and I personally don't feel like I connect to being a woo-woo. That being said, I also pray and I meditate, and I just take a moment to sit, and it's like, I feel like, especially, I don't know, I actually had this conversation with my surgeon the other day. That dancers are so connected internally to their bodies more than your normal person, because it's just part of who we are, right? And if we listen, that's part of it. Like, we have to pray about it, we have to meditate about it, we have to sit in it, but our bodies will lead us to what we're supposed to do.
Oh my gosh, I had this college director, and I don't know if this is an old wives' tale. She had cancer and she beat it, which we're so happy about. But I remember my best friend, I think it was my best friend, who told me, she knew she had it. She knew something was wrong in her body. She laid on the floor and started moving around, and she knew something was off. And I'm saying that to just validate exactly what you're saying. If you can get in there, the answers are there.
I 100% think that. And I know that he kind of looked at me like, okay. He did at first. He was like, okay, you know your body better than everybody. I'm like, no, I'm telling you. I'm like, dancers know their bodies.
Yeah.
Like, we know our bodies. So anywho, my goodness gracious. So you guys, thank you for that. And I think that for me, I could go on about how I have this whole routine, and, I'm praying and meditating and all of that, and how it's helped me move through each decision, moving to, offer different things, moving to grow my business, to do, all those sort of things. But I think that it really comes down to finding the support that you need. And, same thing, I've invested at low levels, and I continue to find programs and mentors and coaches that are speaking to the new level that I want to go to, right? And the other day I was talking to one of my coaches, and she said, well, yeah, you have to invest at the level of your vision.
Ooh, I never heard that. I love that.
Right? And I was like, oh, okay.
That makes sense.
Right? Because if you're taking, we all have done it. We've all, gotten the free course or the whatever, or the $397 or the $500 or whatever, right? Every level is a new level for you when you're on your journey of doing that. But you have to invest in the level of your vision.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it. So I love that you mentioned that. Okay, so y'all, I don't want to keep us all here all day, because oh my gosh, I could just talk. I love when Erin and I get together and chat. So you guys, you can connect with her on Instagram. She is on there. I love it all the time. She's on there all the time. I need to get better about being on Instagram.
Erin, you are like rocking Facebook, like everything in due time. Like you can come hang out with me on Facebook. You won't see me. Like, you need to come over to Instagram. So it's like, it's all like relative.
I know. It's so funny though, because I'm like, well, let's see. We're gonna kind of start to sprinkle. Yeah. I want to. Okay, so you guys, if you come in even on the replay, I want you to sprinkle this goodness with your communities. Don't be afraid to share and to show some love, and we can have a conversation. Oh my gosh, y'all. Erin, I want to say thank you. You just make the world a better place, and I absolutely love that I get to have you as part of my close tribe that I get to just chat with, and you get me.
Yeah, and you get me, and it's nice.
You know,
I
it's
appreciate you, and I love the work that you do. You know, I love what you stand for.
thank you. Oh my
Yeah.
goodness gracious. Now we have people coming. Okay.
Okay, of course,
Oh my
right?
gosh, it's gonna
Oh
be
God.
all right, friends. We're gonna leave you there. I hope that you have a fantastic day. Come back next week because I am having Miss Andrea Trench from Discover Dance. I
Andrea is good. Like she
she's
is right.
right. She's fire, right? So I absolutely love it. She's gonna be with me next week. So y'all come back, join us, same time, same station for our next episode of the Erin Burd Show Live. I'm gonna leave you there.